I'm James Hogan, and I'm a cradle Episcopalian. Having been baptized here at St. James Church, and except for a few periods of time when I lived somewhere other than Caldwell County, I've always gone to church here. In fact, the first time I went to another church in another denomination, I remember thinking, well, where's their reredos? And yes, even as a teenager, I knew what a reredos was. There are no bad reasons to come to church. In hindsight, during different periods in my life, different factors motivated me to attend church. First, I came because my family came. But as I grew older and began to make my own choices, other factors kept me coming. For me, I found the music in the church fascinating. I recall that sometime in my 20s, I joined the choir. I was always interested in music, and that was my major in college. I learned a lot from Evelyn Beam about classical music, especially about the music of J.S. Bach in particular, and music from the Baroque era in general. So I must confess that during my 20s, I did routinely come to church, but it was more to participate in and to enjoy the music than for a theological or religious reason. Currently, Vince Christ is an amazing and wonderful part of our music tradition here at St. James, and I encourage everyone to attend the 10:30 service on Halloween this year. You are in for a musical treat and a half. But as I continued to participate in the choir and learn more about the music in the Episcopal Church, I became more exposed to the liturgy and the Bible and the good word they contain. There's something about the liturgy that I find comforting. I found there was something important missing in services from other denominations. Just as I found other churches lacking when they didn't have a reredos, I find other churches lacking when they don't have a liturgical history to rely on. I realize others may have different opinions, but mine is that the Episcopal liturgy is an important part of what it is to be a church. Those who don't have what we have don't quite know what they're missing. So while I was drawn to the church by its music, I became attracted to the liturgy over time. The Episcopal Church as a rule does ceremonies right, and I think one reason for that is that we don't have to invent everything each time it happens. Because we have a prayer book, we have a basis for a ceremony for almost any occasion. Can anyone think of a better ceremony than the royal wedding at Westminster Cathedral with Bishop Curry's sermon? Now that left an impression on me, and being part of that tradition is a good thing. My point here is there's no bad reason to come to church. It's certainly possible to come for one reason and stay for another. One more point, it's the people of St. James Church that make the music and the liturgy meaningful. Being in community is important, and it is beneficial to everyone to be in community with each other here at St. James. We now have a new way to do that via our webcasts. So it's now possible to bring a service from St. James to someone who's out of state. But we're all part of that community. And once one begins attending church, it's important to contribute to the church from one's abundance. To those whom much is given, much is expected. I would submit to you that we all have been given a great tradition and liturgy. And we should do our best to continue that tradition by making our pledges and doing our best to make it a tithe of 10%. You know what is the right amount to pledge for you, and I encourage everyone to send in your pledge card as soon as you can. Thank you.